Mr. Nambe,
So,
I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
yes,
Through your sharing, you were able to get some clarity on certain incidents that took place here. Among them, the whole war and your own personal role in it, including your own self-appointments. And then the April 6th War, the September 18th War, the death of Tumunya, the death of the Chief of Staff, Prince Johnson, and then even your role in the Lloyd War and other incidents. You throw light on some of these things that we heard they say, but at least today you've come here to tell us that certain things actually happen. Even some people came here to say, well, we didn't do this. Our own group did not kill, they did not loot, they did not steal. But today you are able to clarify to us that even with your association with some of those groupings, you almost got killed. And so we tell you thank you so much.
thank you.
We will come in with question and answer to a few things that we want clarity on. But what we'll do first is that you took a very long time to explain to us. So we'll give you a chance to also rest, and we rest and come back in 1 hour's time. So we'll take a little break and then be back by 3 o'clock. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll break for 1 hour and we'll be back by 3. Thank you so much for your understanding and for your patience.
Thank you.
Sharing your experience with us today. Like I said before we left, we are now at the point where commissioners will ask two questions for clarity. So come to that point. We start with Commissioner Singh.
Thank you very much. Coming to share your experience with us. I would like to take you back to the time you joined the AFL. Say you joined the AFL in 1990, and then your first assignment was in the BTC. And then later on you went to the executive march and stayed there for a couple of days before you went somewhere else. And can you tell us about what happened at the Lutheran Church as an AFL soldier?
Well,
When
thank
you
you very
present.
much, Madam Commissioner. The Lutheran Church thing, there was a government in place. At the proper person to give that kind of information, there's a government was in place, which of course in town here, who control the town at the time. We have the president and cabinet, information minister, all the people was here. These are the referral people who can answer the kind of question. Yes, I don't have any information on that kind of question.
But you are one of the foot soldiers. You were in the armed forces of Liberia, and then this thing happened. The whole of Liberia and all everybody around us knew what happened. So are you saying that you never had any information as to what really happened that day? Because we understand that AFL was there.
Yeah,
That is clear.
I heard it in rumors, but actually I don't get total information on the happening of that Lutheran Church massacre. I don't know. I heard it in rumors. People were talking that people went to Lutheran Church, but actually I have knowledge of that.
Now, can you speak to, we understand that on the executive march on ground, and they have special force in the EFL called SATU, or the death squad. How much information do you know about the SATU?
Well, the guys, this SATU were not actually death squad. They were executive mansion special unit. They were there to protect the president and executive mansion surrounding, and while we were there, I only remember seeing him bringing one huge gentleman in that man, and that guard, what they brought there was very, bright gentleman, was Manoga, huge bread Manoga, and they cut the penny off. I see that one. I know about that. I saw that, and they brought him. They say he was one of the rebel facilitator. And I saw that.
That was on the executive marshal.
Yeah, yeah. It happened right at the football field. Executive mansion, they have a football field there under that tree. And I later caught the guy pennies up. Was the lady. She was taking instruction from one Sergeant Kerry. Sergeant Kerry, he was with Muder, one of the general with Muder too anyway. But if you need there, people know him. If you get to the Muder, people will ask them about saying, okay, if you need to you. But he was a sergeant on the mansion ground for that duty.
Talk about going to INPFL. At one point in time, you were part of INPFL, and you were trained as a guerrilla fighter. Who was responsible for the training?
Well, the training, when we get to the base, surrender to the INPFL, we were still considered a prisoner of war, and we were taken to Burkina Faso. They call the area Burkina Faso Upper Disville. But the training was responsible for the training. It was the Field Marshal Prince Johnson.
Prince Johnson was responsible for the training.
Yeah, yeah.
And how many men were trained?
Well, close to 500 men.
You have women?
No, I don't remember seeing women. There were still men, but some men died in the training. Actually, the training was very tough training. A lot of men died in the training there.
What's the age group? The youngest you will see?
Well, they also AFL soldier they carried there. They from 18 up. At that time, I was 18 years of age.
So you joined the AFL at age 18?
Yeah. Yeah.
What about children?
No.
How many children you saw? Because all the fracture in Liberia had at one point in time children fighting along with them. While you're on the base, how many children you saw affiliated with INPFL?
Well, at the INPFL base, actually, I know such a Yeah, I know such a
So after the training, can you tell us about the various areas you went to, the battlefront? Because after that, massive training, I'm sure you can tell us the battles you are involved in.
Well, as I told you earlier and previously, that after that training, I get my way out of the barrack and I went in Newton. I left the barrack, we went for Rex to the port, we carried the supply to people. I left the barrack. And I still right in Newton there.
Bus.
At the bus. You're talking about Operation Envelope?
Operation, yes. At that time, it was with INPFL.
No, the Operation Envelope, I was not actually with INPFL.
Where were you?
During the Operation Envelope, I think I left the INPFL base. I think that time we just came from jail. I think at the time we went beyond jail.
How long did you stay with INPFL?
Well, I stayed there for almost about 4 to 5 months.
From 19 what?
1990, I went there.
From
We surrendered 1990. And we went on a intensive military training up to 3 months. And okay, we went on the military training, I told you, the guerrilla training up to 3 months. And actually left. But later we were brought back there. I was arrested again, brought back there.
You joined INPFL after those death or before those death?
No, we were captured before Doe death. We were captured at the time. We were already at the base before Doe death.
So you stay with them up to 1991?
Yes, I was there when they captured Dole.
You were there,
I was in Nukutan when they captured Dole, let's say. Yeah, in Nukutan.
you were in Newtown.
Yeah.
So at that time you were not fighting.
No, I was not fighting. I was not a fighter there. I surrounded the INPFL, but I was not fighting. I was like prisoner of war.
You were prisoner of war.
Yeah, captured, prisoner of war.
How did they treat the prisoners of war?
Well, they take us in a separate base, put us there, and from there, they came to us and collected close to 400 men, take them from there and carry them to the place I just told you, Burkina Faso, which of course Prince Johnson said, well, that era, and they took us there, trying to carry on the kind of training to carry on. Yeah. And I left the base, I was in that place to Newtown before Emma Sawyer came to the country.
So what was your role during the Octopus, Operation Octopus or Operation Envy?
Okay, well, we got free from jail, from the barrack. We got free from jail. The army have 8 battalion. They created an 8 and 7 battalion and mission 4, you know. Then I was on a TTY with an 8 battalion, or controlled by one common child. You know, we want a full military operation with ECOWAS and us to pursue the forces of terror from this town, from Shortfriend Hill all the way down to Buchanan. And we stopped them to Flour Mill. I was right in Flour Mill where Emma Sawyer went to Flour Mill with a helicopter and asked the citizens that, what are AFL do anything to you people? The people said no, they don't do anything for you. The people said no. The one made me to come back in town, but I see certain strange behavior was going on there by George Bode and certain guys trying to form FBC. So I said I can be part of this stuff. I have to go back in town. Like AFL was looking for, and we reached Flour Mill, and other people were going to #1 compound. We came back to town. Some friends were not like the idea of merging with FBC to carry on the operation. They came back to town.
Talk extensively about Prince C. Johnson. You said that he died of a lethal injection
In the Ivory Coast.
in Ivory Coast. And why do you think after they took it from me and carried to Ivory Coast for treatment, you think who are responsible for that? Why would they carry him to Ivory Coast for treatment and at the same time pay somebody that amount of money?
Okay, thank you. You see, Prince Johnson was having control and command over the military. At the time, well, Daniel Chair wanted to overlap function. Daniel Chair was like messenger to the army. He was now in full front of the military. Anytime Daniel Chair wanted to discuss military issue, the chief of staff can cut him off. They say, I will deal with this situation, I'm a business. Like it come a time when the president told them to look for military uniform, Daniel Chair contacting another people to find military uniform. The chief of staff said, it was not your business. I mean, you are a surveillance man. You know, all these things, anytime Daniel Chair want to make move, the chief of staff said no. So what I said then happened. That very day, the chief of staff went to the JFK hospital. That night, Daniel Chair was there with us. He was there with us, lobbying. We were in the hospital room with our chief of staff. You know, before he know how he make that arrangement, said they would take the chief of staff out of the hospital and flew into Africa. When the chief of staff get to Africa, being that he will not having control over the military, the chief of staff was having such a control. So he want to seize control over the military. Now what happened went on.
You know, this information made me to want to ask you about the former Vice President Enos Dogoleo, because there's some information as to some foul play went on with him that led him being taken from here to Ivory Coast. Can you tell us what really happened to him? Because if this can happen to the chief of staff, I don't know.
Actually, that time, I was not in the vanguard of that government. I was working, but when I'm close to like they would tell the same for me, like mostly black time, and you know, sometimes I know some tunes of, because I was working and I was close to that authority, but from the time Indo Dogolo in power, I was not close to that kind of authority. to know actually what was happening. I heard rumors that he was flogged in the mattress and other stuff. I heard that rumors. Yeah.
And then you said at one point in time, you had instruction that you were supposed to go to Defense Ministry, and he gave some instruction to the people of West Point that if anything happened to you, they should move on the town and they should do some instruction.
Yes, I gave that instruction actually because Kuku Dennis, Daniel were after my life. So many days, like the first attempt they tried to make to arrest me around the West Point area, which it could not be possible. It was going to be very bad. It was going to be actually bloodshed. It cannot be possible. I'm going to resist from all angles. But if I get to town, or I came to town, somebody told me, okay, like if I get to the ministry, Philibert Brown, the Assistant Minister of Defense for Public Affairs, he told me, you better get from here, but Daniel just see it won't be good for you. So I gave instruction there. I told the guys in West Point that anything happen, if you have received the information, that you must move on defense and any other thing will happen there. I gave that instruction. But that when they jail they me and they saw who were in West Point, they moved to the jail quietly and were there put in maximum protection to see that nothing happened to me.
But do you think giving the people of West Point instruction to move on the town, don't you think that more innocent people are going to suffer instead of peacefully protesting to the authority?
Okay, military men actually protest to authority like that. Military men take military actions. If need be, militarily we address it military way. Military men not just talk, just empty talk. Anything military men doing is action.
Before this commission and testified by the name that General Powell gave us feces. What do you have to say about that?
You see, my commission, that woman information she gave you.
Before you begin, do you know this lady I'm talking about?
Very well.
Where does she live?
West Point, right behind the police station. We all live together very well. I know her when I was a very small boy up to my town, or Cherin, Sapa, and Omoko. They are my cry. We all live together until we got big. And our children, we are so close. I know a whole family she have. I know them very well. Very, very well.
Based on that relationship, do you think that we got any reason of coming to this public hearing and say, calling your name to the entire Liberian citizenry and saying that you asked her to eat feces?
Yes. A reason which she did it is spread out. And I will tell you it. You know what a woman did why she decided doing that? Because it was upon a time, I told you, a lady was arrested. A lady was arrested with 9 pieces of grenade. And she was taken by the guards to carry across the bridge. And I have one checkpoint to LDC, to the interstate, the whole road there. Before you pass through that area from the front line, you have to intercept and ask. So the guards, they took the woman from the right, quite short area down the beach, with a pain, with a grenade in it. You know, they were exaggerating the grenades. They called me on the radio. So I said, I came back from the front line, I left my men there. While I came, I saw the lady. I told them, the lady should be in West Point here. And they went behind the lady. And I was trying to conduct a preliminary investigation before telling the lady over the councilmen. Because there were councilmen working in this country. You all know this. There was a councilman, Alaji Kuruma, councilman, Charles Taylor, and there were councilman, Tama Taylor, Chief Tama Taylor. These guys were all councilmen functioning. And the instruction were coming from them, a lot of instruction. So what I did, I tell a woman to ask her some question. Only one soldier stand for my right hand side. At the time, I tell a woman to ask her the question. At the time, she called a lady named by Lawrence Sume. I do not know what to be Lawrence Sume. I always call her Omoko Man. Omoko Man, or son of bigger son, myself equal. But the guy name. We play football together, everything. So they said, no, that Omoko, that Lawrence Sume. I said, Omoko Man, I said, yes. So people I told some people to go and tell her to come. Actually, she was afraid. So myself went to the house there and told her, Oma, everybody on the field there. It was a very wild field, and I get the names of people, witnesses who were there, Josiah Johnson, and the commission from that time, that year, the commission were acting were there, and the pressing commission now, all the people, they were pride. Everybody was there. When the lady myself came, we set her down. The only lady thing I can say I did there, I did not respect her right, by making her to sit on the ground. Yes, that's the only thing. But for that woman, for any other person, nobody went for her. She called one all of Soloko knee. Soloko, she was lying on the man. I saw very man there. I went for her and bring her. When she was seated, I called the commission in other areas. They were there. They were there when the gun went off and shot that woman in the arm. They were there. And I told the people to carry her to the hospital. I would take her to the hospital. She can't make it. I ordered them to bury her. I asked her the question. You know the woman? She said, you know the girl? She said the girl, a crazy girl. I saw the 9 pieces. I saw the 9 pieces of grenade. Lauren Sume told us that the girl was a crazy girl. She didn't know that girl from nowhere. You know, no point of time. That's why I say, I will give you the name of this witness. Say, you go, you do your own background investing. In fact, Lauren Sume, she lied on her oath. Because why I say she lied on her oath, Lauren Sume came here, told you that her husband was killed by INPFL people. And her husband died right in West Point, in the house, there, by Hong Kong. They call her name Harris Sume. That her husband name. Harris Sume died right in the house. That why making you afraid to come out? When we were surrounding, not surrounding. He was a good friend to this guy, Mr. Sapla. Good friend to Do. They call him Mr. Sapla. He was a friend to the man. And all of them enjoyed immunity. One day I saw him in military uniform. You know, he went out, saw your man. I saw him in military uniform. Because I know he will live to the sea era. In the sea environment. They play that woman half of the concrete building, and now when you go there, if you ask the people in you get people who can do that. Then they go there and ask the people for you to know why I'm talking truth. That woman just creates the story. You go in the community, you ask the people there if her husband actually died across the bridge. In a direct in the house in West Point for Hong Kong. Then why I'm talking? Then I lie, I'm not talking any truth. If anybody tell you, yeah, that I get a woman fishing, or on a point of time, I tell people to arrest her. I brought her in the presence of the commission and all the citizens there. The only violation I do, I will still tell you, I make her to sit on the ground. I make her to sit on the ground because the kind of grenades that girl bring, and the girl says she came to the woman that the woman is saying her to, you know, Tequia, the late Tequia, Major General for LPC, send the girl with these things according to the information we have from the boss. But the boss too, he was wrong by shooting the woman. He was very wrong because we want to get more information from the woman. What are sending people? Because in our midst, because the people were fighting actually to take over West Point. They were fighting to point the West Point down. And a lot of citizens were in that place, up to 80,000 people were there. Oh, they coming for food, doing other things. So these are the situations what happened there. So Lauren Sume, she lied. I know her very well. I tell you, after she left the place, I wanted to come here, but I was fed up. My woman recorded it and Holly. I came. You know, before we just what they call. I sent people there to tell the commission what are the horse. Since he said, I told Josiah Johnson too. Josiah Johnson said, but what a woman lied at this. We right in West Point here, we know what happened yet. She wasn't supposed to be lying. You hear me? You protected the place. You protected us here. We were not disgraced by some people here. You did that. You do all the good things for us. Then the woman will lie. So I told them that I will be going to the TRC. So I just want to inform them if they hear the TRC calling them to come and tell the TRC the fact. If I get a woman fishing, let the TRC persecute me for years. I'm just lean and daddy. If I actually get a woman fishing, or if I arrest her to do anything violating the only thing I told you, I made her to sit on the ground. Which of course, I mean, I can owe some apologies. But I never upon a time made her woman to get feces. Upon my oath. I'm going to show you, I took an oath. I will never violate it. And beside that, I know the woman. How will I do such a thing? If I'm so wicked enough, that one get so many people to eat, you know what I mean? It's wrong. So now what happened? It's wrong. She lied. That woman want for me and her to meet face to face like this. For her to meet. Let the elder from West Point come and just sit down. We'll discuss the thing. If that you just send me to jail for years upon years. The TRC, I say, we'll send me to jail. If such a thing, story that happened.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Sure.
Hello, Mr. Witness.
Yes, sir.
Can you please tell us the year and the month you enlisted into the EFL?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us which year and month you were enlisted into the EFL?
Yes, sir. 1990, February 9, a special order published on me, special order number 9, February 11.
Okay, thank you. Now you said in your presentation that you were in the EFL and then later you surrendered to the INPFL and then later you came back. But I'd like to ask, at the time you enlisted in the EFL
Yes, sir.
and the subsequent time you served in the INPFL, how were people promoted in those organizations?
Referring, you talking about the INPFL?
EFL,
How were people promoted in the AFL?
yeah. Was it through
Through the ring of fire. Through the ring of fire of the army.
through rank and
You have
file?
to go through the ring of fire of the army.
And you had to go through training and all of that.
Yeah.
And when you complete training,
Yeah.
then
But some cases, for your better performances, and you can be put into certain position.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Now the reason why I asked you because you mentioned that you promoted yourself to Major General.
Oh yes, yes. It was
Now
not.
is this the method of promotion in the military?
Okay, I'm coming to you now. In the military situation, you revise that if war is going on and the situation you find yourself on, you can get ring ad hoc. Something in the military they call it ad hoc. You can promote yourself to any ring ad hoc. After the war, you can put that ring down.
Who confers the ad hoc rank? Is you yourself or a superior officer?
Well, precisely, you for your action, for your activeness on the front line on the battlefield, you can come to some superior officer. You propose that are carrying such a ring, and they can actually conduct. They can actually give you the go ahead to use that.
So the superior officer will confer the rank and not yourself.
Yes.
All right. Now, and you in that same process as a self-promoted general,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned that you ordered the execution of somebody.
Yes, I did, sir. I did.
Was the execution of this person, was it the result of a trial? Did the person undergo a trial?
Now, why I say the person died by my degree? I just told you that the person died by my degree. You know, it was no error. The only thing we do preliminary, and the person admitted yes, he took the people and killed the people. He cleared Friday, and his mother was baking me in West Point. His mother begged. When I went for the condo, his mother house, every arrow. He told me where he was on the bed. I took it. His mother was baking me. Now my friend, but the tension was on me, and the citizen was trying to carry on demonstration, and the body was on him fresh body wrapped in a wet cloth. The guys on in. So to certify, the voice of the people is the voice of God. To certify the people, we have to do XYZ.
So is the people that commanded you to execute this person?
Nobody is commanding me. I told you just earlier, Honorable Commission, I said the cry of these people is the cry of God. So, as a man with wisdom, I have to use my wisdom to make that and put that man to rest for the whole tension to come down. That's what I did, and I executed him. I ordered execution. Yeah.
You ordered execution. So, are you saying the order for execution was done within accepted standards of a fair trial and all of that, or it was because the fresh body was there with fresh blood, and the people were crying, so therefore you ordered the execution?
Yeah, gee, that Moses law now, the man do other people also would dare him too. That why they start doing that. That was Moses law. You kill two persons, so you have to go with them. It could be my case. If I do that, we are military people. If he kill illegally, he must die.
So you were the judge, the jury, and the executioner?
I was everything there at the time.
Were you aware at the time that this was against the acceptable human rights practice and standards?
Yes, sir.
You were aware?
Is our aware whether against human rights practice? Yes. I told you I was aware, but I have to do it because the masses were crying and we have to put the gentleman to rest too.
Okay, you also served after 1997 elections. You served in the EFL, and then you were commissioned a first lieutenant.
Yeah, first lieutenant.
And then later on,
captain.
Later on, captain.
Yes, sir.
How much during your time with the AFL, especially so after 1997, how much did you know about defense intelligence? Who was the head of the defense intelligence?
1997?
Yeah, 1997 upwards.
Yeah, the defense intelligence was Colonel Cotter. The deputy was John Manson. Talking about the G2 now, and so.
Yes, intelligence.
Yeah, G2, yeah.
Now, what do you know about stories and reports that there were death squads within this intelligence unit, headed by one of the officers?
Sir?
What do you know about reports that there was a death squad unit within that particular G2 at the time, commanded by one of the officers within that G2 section? Do you know anything about that, or did you hear anything like that, that there was a death squad unit commanded by one of the officers?
Well, I will not tell you say I know anything about death squad, but there were a lot of lies going on people, and people were just catching people doing some kind of thing to people, doing all kinds of things to people.
Now, was this George Massot associated with any of those killings and extrajudicial arrests and torture of people? Do you have any idea of that?
Yeah, George Massot did that. He did that.
Can you cite some instances in which he did these things?
Yeah, like one of the Eastern, I just told you. In fact, a lot of soldiers who were put down by Taylor government, and later the guys went to jail. It like kind of revenge. They seen Gio and Krahn team. They seen Gio and Krahn team. That's why it's society over there, because when the Krahn men were controlling things in the military and the Gio men were controlling things in the military, when they feel that September 18th only went on, a lot of people get killed. A lot of people get killed. People in the army, they know the story. They carry people to shove and bury, took them from jail. And
Which jail they were taking from?
For MP quarters. For MP quarters.
How many persons were taken out?
About 4 or 5 persons were taken, or top military bra were taken, or were executed in the Shuffling era. And
Can you name some of those who were taken out and executed?
Yeah, we're talking about Colonel.
Was Colonel Thomas Dewey among them?
Dewey was there. Dewey was one of the men. He was the press release officer at the Defense Ministry, and the other gentleman they call Colonel. How they call his name too? The guy was spokesman where they dismissed the soldier. Obisu Seli, Lieutenant Colonel Obisu Seli, was executed there too. He was executed there too. He was specialized in George Advocate General fees. He was actually executed there too.
Can you say who ordered those executions?
Well, it was government running, my brother. Honorable Commission, it was government running.
It was government orders. But who were those officers who carried out those executions?
Then you start your investigation now from the MP quarter. Then you get in the war in charge.
So they were detained at MP quarters.
They were detained.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
They were detained at MP quarters and not the post target. Were they detained at the post target or MP quarters?
They were never detained at the post target. They were right at the MP quarters.
MP quarters.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you remember the month in which they were taken out and executed?
No, sir, I cannot remember the month, sir. But they were executed.
And you said they were executed at Camp Shefflin?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any idea where the bodies may be buried?
No, I only know that they were executed at Camp Shefflin.
And you don't know who was it that was directly responsible?
Yeah, I choose not to do so now, but we can discuss it in Chima.
Was George Masuo linked to this?
Yeah, but George Masuo is the G2 commander. George Masuo was the G2 commander. He was the deputy G2 commander, very active when Konokoto. Because Konokoto was not actually active. Because Konokoto didn't come from behind the line. People who were there, Konokoto was just there as a bugume, but George Masuo carrying on the job.
So where is this George Masuo now?
The man right here in Duporo. You can find him from the Duporo era. You call him, he will come over.
Now, as an officer in the military, and during the September 18, where were you?
Yes, as I said, the September 18, I was assigned to the Chief of Staff house. Yes, I was assigned to the Chief of Staff. Only upon a time, there's a riot disrupted at the military barrack. That morning, I think they were expecting someone attention, and the Chief of Staff told us all the full bodyguards to your house should get on a mobile to go there, you know. And that day were there, a happy riot disrupted. What resolved the gunfiring, and they killed the GFO, the Chief of Arsenal, right there, Major Zuo. One Major Zuo, one of the special forces to Prince Johnson, call him Major Zuo, was later break away from Prince Johnson. Major Zuo, who said, oh, the ECOWAS, special forces to Prince Johnson. He was executed right in front of the barrier there, and right in front of the defense there was happy shooting. And
who did the execution?
Well, it was group demonstration. They agreed, and how they call it, the soldiers who were aggrieved, they were carrying on. They were trying to carry on their own demonstration, and in the demonstration they were having men with arms and they shouting.
Now, in the military, were you in any way aware of any kind of problems that may have existed between the Defense Minister Daniel Chair and the Chief of Staff at the time, Prince Johnson? Was there any confusion between the two persons?
Power struggle. Defense Minister want to overlap a military function. We want to overlap a Defense Minister function to come to the Chief of Staff function, because in FIDA you will not get too much when you're supposed to get. So you want to come overlap. So anytime they go to the President, that Chief of Staff can always be complaining. He say, what is it? They may want to leave the Minister of Precision. Anytime the President asks me something, you want to jump into it. So the only way Donald Chair could do this thing, I say, get out of the on the way. And I went in dead.
So therefore you believe that Daniel Chair had a hand or had a part to play in the death of the former Chief of Staff, Prince Johnson.
Precise. And beside that, you should investigate from the time Prince Johnson in the hospital. Go to the hospital. How many persons visited the hospital? What did John Maso went to Africa at that time? The investigation will tell you that, yes, John Maso in Africa. The very week they met there, John Maso left from Africa and come back. You gotta know.
George Masuo, you say?
John Maso.
Did he visit the hospital when Prince Johnson was in the hospital?
Yes, he went there. He went there. Who said he there?
And do you believe that he did anything harmful to the Chief of Staff? Did he enter his room?
Well, I want to in Africa. But I
no, I mean here, while he was here in hospital.
Yeah.
Do you remember George Masuo visiting the hospital while General Johnson was in the hospital?
Yes, he visited the hospital, and General Johnson called us just 2 days ago, responded. All of foreign, we were expecting Johnson to come back home. He was talking to us very fine. He talked to his wife, greeted all his bodyguards. He wanted to speak to me. I spoke to him. We talked very good. And the man said, maybe by next week I will be on my way. The man dispatched. Daniel Chair sent that man there.
So who sent George Masuo to Ivory Coast?
That Daniel Chair sent there. The defense minister, Daniel Chair sent George Maso there to Africa.
Okay, you say Daniel Chair sent George Masuo to the Ivory Coast. And how do you know, or can you explain, how did you get the information that George Masuo visited the Chief of Staff in the hospital in the Ivory Coast while he was there, and then when he left, it didn't stay any time, the Chief of Staff died?
But you know we have people there. We have people in the hospital. You know we have people there. We have people in the hospital there who are observing things. We actually saw John Maso in Africa around the hospital. And the people were calling here telling or something. But his mission, whether he liaised with one of the doctors to do what he did. That what the foul play went on. But we know that Daniel Chair saying John Maso did. What was the mission? That what you're supposed to have been investigating now?
Now was it 35,000 you talked about?
Yeah, the money was given according to our information we received. And the money was given to facilitate the main Africans and to draft the doctors who are working there in Africa to do what they did.
Now, how did you get this information? How can you confirm that this information that you were giving us here is actually information that is true?
Yes, the information here actually is true. Why I say the information is true, John Maso have no business to do in the Africans. He was a G2. The government actually did not send him Africans. The deal was between him and the defense minister. John Maso was not close friend to the Chief of Staff. John Maso, from day one, according to the Chief of Staff, the Ben Onasa, he not been in link with Chief of Staff. And John Maso is a man who carry on his own operation. And beside that, after certain time, information started to leak out to us from some other people that SYC went on. This guy went to Africa, somebody was talking with him, and they went to one place. Daniel Chair was talking with somebody to discuss. They were waiting for John Maso to come to Africa for them to discuss anything. And John Maso carried on our mission. If you do your investigation technically, you will get to know that something between Daniel Chair and John Maso was linked to the Prince Johnson killing.
So you believe very strongly that Daniel Chair is or was connected to the death of General Prince C. Johnson?
Precisely. And besides that, several times he boasts of it, that he in control of the army now. In fact, let me give you one information again. When Kona, the Chief of Staff, the former Chief of Staff, I went to your office where certain leadership I was controlling. I went to your office to discuss certain things with him. I said, do not leave the office until we get certain things what we need from government. That before you leave the office. If you will leave the office, we will have serious problem with you. He said, my son, you don't know I'm afraid. The same thing what case Prince Johnson, and I want for you laughing to me. I said, what really came? I was discussing with him, but he said, I was on a lot of pressure. Look at the other thing. I could not refute Daniel Chair. You know how Prince Johnson died here. Me, I was someone to locate me, you know, all these things. But my wife couldn't get that information. You go and ask my wife. I just giving you the information now. You work it up. Call my wife, he's a Chief of Staff, last Chief of Staff. Call him here now.
Call who?
Bengba Wakona. Call you here now, asking how the defense minister are running. He called you a non-state deputy chief of staff, asking how the defense minister are running, who they want, how prisoners in that, and who were manipulating the system there, how the thing happened, how something. He will tell you some information from that end. From that place, you can start your investigation from there. But he told me that he signed certain document over there because he was afraid, he was under a lot of pressure. The way they killed the other chief of staff, he don't want to die that. He told me, and I can stay in your face. I'll tell him that again. I will tell him over and over. And he told me that.
Now, does the name DKB ring a bell to you?
Yes, he was one battalion commander.
He was one of your commanders?
He was one battalion commander, 1st Infantry Battalion commander.
Where is he now? Do you know where he is?
In the Habe era.
In the Habe Hills?
In the Habe era.
Oh, he's in the Habel area?
In the Habe era, yeah.
What do you know about an incident involving him and a soldier who was stabbed and who was reported to have died?
Yes. That time I was John Security Deputy Chief of Operation. Our father in that story very wide. I myself want to arrest DKB. But you see, Daniel Chair, you need to ask him that question. Daniel Chair aware of that whole, he aware of that whole thing. He backed DKB up and closed the whole case. But right, there were other popular for DKB to go to jail. And DKB defied them. He said he cannot go to jail. And DKB one day he put a group of soldiers behind him, everybody was afraid. The defense authority was depending on me to arrest. But how will I arrest? I could not arrest because the chief of staff was incapacitated. He was very weak. Defense minister was giving him order. I cannot be a chief of staff. If I'm talking, you'll see fire coming from my ear. You'll see fire coming from my mouth. You'll see fire coming from my nose. If I give an order, and it will stay. DKB defiled the whole general and special staff and walk away with impunity. Yeah, I've been ready for the defense.
Was he ever court-martialed?
Well, I'm telling you the thing, nothing happened to the man. Nothing happened to him. He was not hearing nothing. He was not court-martialed. Nothing happened to him. Because you were having a godfather there.
And who was his godfather?
Oh, Daniel Chair. Daniel Chair was a godfather.
So the Minister of Defense...
former Minister of Defense.
Yeah, I mean at the time.
Oh, okay.
He could have ordered a court-martial board set up to investigate DKB, but you say that he did not do anything like that.
Nothing.
How about the Chief of Staff? What did the Chief of Staff do?
The man weak like plastic. How a man will do something? The Chief of Staff is very weak. You know Mama Wakona. You don't know him? He is very weak. You say, oh, you know, so your tumor. He is very weak. He is incapacitated. I don't know what kind of military training on go. But I know military people that men are fed big comma. It can happen in a case. He's a very strong military man. And Philip Bikama was a very strong military man. It would never happen in a case. Like how DKB did anything there. I was waiting for orders to arrest DKB. But only to know that they went in 2 more steps before DKB came down and Yekai were gone. And the soldier man died, the lieutenant died. And the lieutenant was buried. They found Otero. How do you call that place name? The other side on the side. Addington. He was buried to Addington.
The officer who died?
The officer, the lieutenant was buried to Addington.
Can you remember the name of that officer?
He was a lieutenant anyway, but your brother right there, your brother read the defense, your brother can give you the total story of that other story. Your brother there, read the defense there.
Now, during September 18, you said that you were assigned with the Chief of Staff. But what do you, as a military man, what do you know of whatever killings that may have occurred at Public Works, Kim Johnson Road, and all those areas during the September 18? Did you receive any kind of information like that?
Are you talking about the escaping of Elizabeth Johnson?
Yes.
But you know, the government said Elizabeth Johnson would rise against them. So they were wanting him to be arrested. And they were after him and his collaborators. And
some of the collaborators were in Public Works Ministry?
No, the whole thing happened around Ken Johnson Road, but the guys was trying to escape. And things went on there. That lot of things went up. So you have to call the people who were supposed to be involved in that thing. You call the MP commander, asking some question. Call the chief of staff at that time. Call the deputy chief of staff. You get some question to that. You answer you some question. And call the defense minister. He was heading the whole thing now. Because was incapacitated. Defense minister in a full military gun-proof jacket, moving around the place here. So you have to call him and answer some question.
So are you telling us that the defense minister was virtually running a one-man show, or running the army on a one-man show basis?
He was actually running the army. All battalion commander report to him, and it was not proper. He was not supposed to be that. Battalion commander also report to brigade, to the commanding general, or to the brigade. But battalion commander was just leaving the brigade, coming straight to the defense minister office. So at the end of the day, the chain of command was breaking down. The chain of command was breaking down. And then all the battalion commander can wake up, we first see the chief of staff and say, oh my man, wait, straight to the defense minister. And when you finish with the defense minister, you just come out.
Now, as a military man, how did people like for instance, Roland Duo, who was known as a lieutenant general and all of that. Firstly, how was the relationship with the military? What kind of authority they exercise over the military?
Okay, you're talking about Roland Duo, but you now come to the question you want to ask. I will come to it.
not just he per se, but others. Kuku Dennis, others.
Now what I was trying to come to now.
Okay,
you are just beating around the bush. The Joint Chief of Staff for the militia was Benjamin G.V. Yetin. Other generals from the militia fall under Yetin directly. They were all militia generals. All the other generals from the army fall under Bigman Wakona. But Benjamin Yetin was able to report directly to Bigman Wakona. But he didn't know military orders. So these guys were all around him every day. He didn't know that order. But he was the Joint Chief of Staff for all generals in the country. He was general of the army. They were able to report to him. Benjamin Yetin was holding 4-star general, but he didn't know the weight of it. He was a militia man. He didn't know the weight. Any military man know the weight of 4-star general. You can control a 4 to 5 brigades. But you see that what happened now? We have only one brigade in this country controlled by one commanding general. We have one brigade controlled by one commanding general. Then it was necessary for all to get Joint Chief of Staff. But why the president did that? Because he was forming another marine. He was forming another division. So why he did? All the divisions will fall under what? Bingba Wakona. So the Bingba Wakona was going to be powerful, but he not know a function as the Chief of Staff at the time. What time you put a pipe down for your mob before you give orders?
What kind of support the Army, the EFL, was receiving, and how did the command structure look like if you compare it to the command structure for the militias, for example?
Well, the militia command structure actually was very happy more than the army command structure. Because why? The militia barrack, we know, you know, it fall directly under the army. Militia, you know the other militia who can wear slipper here, we're talking about. You know the one they bring here. But militia, we know, fall directly under the military. And they take instruction from the military directly. But that militia they were having here, it was different militia with different technology. And like me, I was a captain in the armed forces of Liberia. The commander-in-chief of the armed forces sent for me, promoted me to the rank of colonel. And he was supposed to tell me over to the commanding general immediately, militarily. But the guys were incapacitated. So he told me over to the SS director to carry on a mission. And what happened funny, when I accomplished mission, I came back, I was going to be promoted as lieutenant, a 4th colonel, right? According to the president. Daniel refused. He said I was small boy for that ring. I want to hold that ring. So that thing made me vex. Some other military men were mocking at me. And they called a spirit trial for me. You know what I did to them? I deal with them, I flog them. I flog them, I fire between their legs, and they call for commercial bull. Quick! They investigated me. But I told them I would provoke. So I did what I did. But then I came in the process. I only made a friends, you know, between the legs. And now I did. And I went to jail for 3 weeks. For that one I did. The court major boy and the family guilty. But only don't know. End of the day, I served my team. I saw the commanding general driving there. He said the president said more freedom, man. You have to go back for mission. So I was released.
Now, what would you know about corruption in the military at the time in which you served? Particularly, well, 1990 there was war and the one, but let's say 97 when you were in the military under elected government.
Don't go far. Eating money was the order of the day. Eating soya money. That was the order of the day. All the general inspector started at the soya money they were living on. So when they start there and they not get no money to eat, they cause trouble around here. That the soya money they were eating every day here. Every day here. So we want to treat it fairly. They nothing soya want to treat it fairly. Me be fair to you. The people they put their own pension salary around here. They put their own pension salary around here. They lead nothing soya out. They got every money collecting pay. They order 9,000 men final robot to Sisate. It's not fair. It's not fair. Any money maker collect the gas. You wanna sit down here? You wanna sit down there? The guys are trained. These are people who saw the fire and joined the army and went to the fire. And they're prepared to do that thing again over. They are prepared to do it over without regret. Because they are vulnerable. Most of them are Christian people, they all around smoking drugs. All around there. Anytime they see you, they say, yo, cheaper. We're not working. I also where people go through it's a hot. But what to do? We following small. So the people were very, very corrupt. The whole general inspector staff. The whole general inspector were corrupt. They were corrupt. They were criminal by capital letters.
Does that include the Minister of Defense at the time?
Well, Minister of National Defense received $1 million every time from the army money. And carry A. And eat A.
How about your former and late boss, the former chief of staff of Prince Johnson? Was also a corrupt character?
But the guys actually they were all in the clip of that stuff. I mean, you know, I'm a Benny where you see one chief of staff get 200-300 knee. Like the same going on funny. You know how far knee. When they pay all that far knee, you're saying Adjutant General is not gonna man for the office to go sign in that place. All that new coming to a packet. It happen. My brother, it happen. Goes knee. We're playing there in the army when they say I'm a da, they can't drop a knee. They will bring another man put in there and say I'm my brother. And that brother, that different knee put it on. The other knee. So a minute I'm trying to go up to even more than 50,000.
So are you saying that the strength on which payment was made to like about 15,000 was not the actual strength? There were a lot of ghost names in those?
The ghost names were plenty. Actually, the 1990 soldier who came from who went to the battle.
Did you have any ghost names on your part of payroll?
On my payroll?
Yeah.
On my payroll. I don't have payroll.
Oh, you didn't have a payroll?
I don't have a payroll. Where I command, the last place I command now, John Security Fund, they sent me to 72nd as commandant. My last ring, I hope, because Daniel refused to give me the full corner ring. A lieutenant corner ring they give me. That air operating on as lieutenant. I play with air before they pour down from the army. That the last ring I hold, lieutenant corner. Because they refused to give me that full corner ring. Because it was equivalent to battalion commander. Because they don't want me to be battalion commander, they say I'm very hot. And I one day overrun them. And when you don't do the real thing, I'm a military man, I live by the gun, I can die by the gun. So you not take me for play. You not take me for play. You not make me to be vulnerable to anything. If you make me vulnerable, I will leave the place here. You must keep me up. You must keep me up. If you not keep me up, I will back off.
So, if we should come back to the story that my colleague was asking you concerning this report from West Point, you stated that you know this woman very well, this Lorraine Smith. You know her very well.
Very, very.
And that you know her children very well.
Very, very well.
So are you telling us under oath that you never, ever in your life made her to eat feces?
Honorable Commission, I'm a crewman. Well, I do something, I will look in your face, I tell you, I do it to you. Nothing will come, nothing you do to me. If I'm going to tell you sorry, I'll tell you sorry. But if I do this, if I leave from here today, I'm going to die tomorrow. Or if I leave from here, I'm going to go back, I can't ask a day. If I give that woman anything in physics, I'm going to live to see tomorrow. I'm going to be perish. I'm going to be cash. What I do, I will tell you, hey, I don't get started. I'm a crewman. I'm from Fido Cree. I don't like beating around the bush. What I do something, I will tell you, hey, in fact, from the time I was born, I never drink liquor in my life. I never smoke. Now when I causing trouble also, when they come to the army, the chief of staff and tell them, the deputy chief of staff and tell them, someone's running. He said, yeah, well, they make and drink and smoke. He always clear. So you see that they are talking here to you, I'm looking on paper. It right in my head. Soon as you talk about, hey, come to my mind, I will know that time you're talking about. Straight.
But let me ask you, since you say that you know this woman's children, have you and this woman ever met since that time? Have you ever met since West Point is a very small place? All of you live. You still live in West Point, by the way?
Every day, my people there, my man there, my father there, my whole generation, that we get a crew beach, that we get our whole crew beach. I mean, the people you call me to run as a representative, then, but I say, I saw you, I can't run as a representative. The people want me to rule the place. They want for me to be there until I die. But I said, no. After war, you have to go hustle. On my hustle. I can't be politician because the kind of military training I get in me, it took me around. I got to get vest. I can't be politician. So I can't be politician. You know, when I be politician, I will join the faith with people. I don't ever eat. But that the military thing I can understand very much. I went to West Point restaurant in Ring. I saw the woman the other day. When she came here, she testified. I went there. I stand in sympathy to her. Well, 2 children died instantly. But she came from here. Or 2 big children like me, they die instantly. Let me just tell you now. Omoko died and Lawrence Subet, Sapa died. They die instantly. Just go ask her now. Will you see her tomorrow? Or call her. Ask her your children die. She will tell you yes. They just died. Those they say sickness or something. They just die instantly. Or 2 children.
And when was that, you said?
Just 1 month, 2 months ago.
The 2 children died.
The children died. Just call West Point now, ask somebody there, they will tell you. Now, go there, or 2 children die. My crowd, my friend, Omoko, he died. Instantly. The daughter, big daughter, about 22 years of age. Because we all keep up together. We live in the same community. You know that can be taken here. It's not play thing. When you come here, you lie, something will happen to you. It not happen to yourself, it will happen to somebody. Well, I tell you, last year today, I leave from here today. You go, you see me on the street, my brother. You see me, I can walk with nobody. If I commit a crime in the city, I will walk around Monrovia Street the days, and I control half of the city. In a combat, I will walk the days. But one of the men are free around here. I can go anywhere. Nobody are afraid of. Nobody. I go anywhere, anytime, any minute. The only letting I was having a problem. Wow, now you know people moving around because the other time I went to jail, the government jail me and all that stuff. So but now the government myself, we are best friends. We are good all friends. The president talked to me 6 different times. We talk on the round table. So I congratulate her because she gave me clearance and other things. So I'm free. I'm moving around. So my brother, I will not be afraid of anybody. I go to my township every day. I play my mom and my pa. I can go see them, carry small food for them if I have. I go to one side, my friend help me with small thing. I go there with small thing. You see here? That's how the thing works. But in war, you can be bad, then tomorrow you hire yourself. Like, let me give you a typical example. Like what happened to Mayor Mo. One Mayor Mo, he was an MP, he was a chief of operation for the MP. Our master sergeant at that time. I arrested a Fantikino for opium. You know what he did to me? That man used a major position on me at the time and go for me in my own community. I arrested the Fantikino, begging me to give me 5,000. I said, I agree. I want 25,000. Follow opium, follow Kino. I arrested him. The man begging me, the mayor go call him. You know what he did to me? The soldiers shoot me down. Arrest me down. Disgrace me in my community. Carry me and put me to jail. My battalion commander one day and free me. I keep that grudge against him with a person walking. Who I saw coming? Major Mo with baby on a bag with low on a head. He saw me in Muyafe. I call him and say, Mayor Mo. You know, I go to him and say, you're going to have income. Mayor Mo, he said, Chico, hey, my son, he think about when dead. He think about when dead to me. Straight. He made base on himself.
And what did you do to him?
I gave him 500 United States and he was NBR now. Bureau investigation. Go there, ask him. I gave him 500 and I told him to go across the bridge. Bureau get MBA where Kono Zuba. In where Kono Zuba there. Now I play Kono Zuba working. Go there now. I think I say stop behind the no Kono. You can see the man in the tire. The man around here. You go. You see him. Just 4 days ago I saw him. After the war, the man came back to West Point. Right to LEC game. Say, my man, the thing happened to what happened, I didn't forget about you. I said, Papa, I finished with that thing. Well, I have nothing, man will shoot you right here down. I will shoot you and no question. I'll come here today and I'll tell them, yeah, shoot him. Because he didn't want to me. But I don't do that. I don't do that. In a war time, let me tell you, somebody told me something. In war, that's how you make friends. After war, you enjoy yourself. Today, when I went stranded, when the people looted my money in that place, they took my money from me, I'm not having nothing. They let money, put money together and give it to me. With the full of people. Put money together and give it to me. We live on your channel. Most of them are listening, they say, I finish my camp, my last month thing. I will go there. Because I'm free man. I'm free man. I want to say this to all of us in the community and all of you for coming up to follow my common example. Don't I see you show anyone or people didn't see one reward? I said this for people to follow my common example. That tomorrow when any uprising come in the country, stand by your people. The people call me. The people call me to be representative in the community. I say, me, I ain't what I can do. I ain't what I can follow job. I'm a yeah, man. When the government rally for me anytime say, my power want you to do so, I will go there and help them.
Now, while you were in the military, well, you were in the military, as you say, and after. No, I'm not doubting you.
Oh.
I'm not doubting you.
Lieutenant Colonel, that's my last position I had in the military. Lieutenant Colonel, that's my last position. I control 72nd Barry. That was the last place I command before the move of the military.
And when were you removed?
2005, I think.
2005. 2005.
Yeah.
So, you have any idea of who were those involved in the killing of Major John McCaffrey at the Mama Point Hotel, the American soldier that was killed? You have any idea? Did you pick up anything?
Well, one of the men working on that thing, trying to get the guys, but I can't tell you now the name and the other things are working on a lot of stuff here to see how Bill can get that guy. But it's a big political gameplay here, and I choose not to talk here now.
You say it's a big political game?
Yes, I choose not to talk here now. In the American to the Army Poor team,
Please, you said?
In the American for the Army Poor Sonny Bene, the American for the murder, one to the embassy, to the embassy in the Mutter there.
Yeah, the Mama Point Hotel.
It was big hand inside.
Big hands.
Big hand.
Tell us one big hand.
No, I cannot say. That's why I say I choose not to say nothing now.
Can you tell us this in camera?
Precise.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much again.